When I was driving from San Diego, we came today. I was hearing the lecture of His Holiness Badrinarayan Swami Maharaj. Today morning, on Sunday morning, he speaks. So he was showing a slide of an earth which is covered by paint, and that ad belongs to Sherwin-Williams. This is a paint company, a number one famous company of America, belongs to paint. And almost half of the earth is covered by paint, red colored paint. And the title says at the bottom, cover the earth. So every time, Maharaj was mentioning, every time Srila Prabhupada will see this advertisement in Detroit, and this banner was near the casinos and all those clubs, and he was looking at this, and every time he would pass by, he would say that, oh, this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. And devotees were thinking, what does it mean? One day, and then second day, and then another day, Govardhan, who was Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he asked Prabhupada, what are you looking at that ad which makes you say that it is Srila Prabhupada, that it is Lord Chaitanya's movement? Should be like that, looking at that ad. Srila Prabhupada said that just like the earth is covered by color, similarly, Lord Chaitanya's movement, this holy name will be chanted in every town and village. So I was thinking, as I entered Las Vegas, it was covered with all the casinos. And just like Prabhuji was mentioning, there would be Rath Yatra and bigger temples, so this whole city will be covered with the holy name. Hari Bol. Radha Govind Dev Ji ki Jai. Jagannath Rath Yatra, we go out and cover the whole city with Harinam and Kirtan and dance and Prasadam distribution. So many activities. So truly Lord Chaitanya's movement is, coming true. It will be spread in every town and village. Prithvi te ashe nagar adi gram sarvatra prachar hoy be mera naam. This is the prediction on which Srila Prabhupada had so much faith. So I asked Prabhuji what should I speak on. So he was mentioning that he's taking chapter 3, which is Karma Yoga. So I thought I'll speak something on Karma Yoga in reference to working at the same time, serving, practicing spiritual life. So as we all know that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna is obviously a grihastha, he's an administrator, he's a kshatriya. And Krishna tells in the 3rd chapter that you must continue to do your duties. At the same time, you remember me, you worship me. So doing our spiritual duties and at the same time doing our material duties. So making a right balance in both of those situations. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also similar verse comes, Atah Pumbir Duja Shreshta Varnashram Vibhagasha Swa Anushtistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So the essence of this verse is that whether we are brahmachari living in the temple, bachelors, or we are grihasthas, householders living in house with kids, having a job, or we are in the retirement age, vanaprastha, or we are, renunciates, sannyasis. So whatever we are, what is the success criteria of any of these occupation, varnas or the ashram? What is the success criteria of this? So this verse very much emphatically tells what Krishna is also telling Arjuna in the 3rd chapter and throughout the Bhagavad Gita. So it says the success of one's life is not, determined by so many other different factors. It is determined by how Krishna is pleased with us. And what pleases Krishna is what we should understand. So Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita what pleases him. When Arjuna was in a difficult situation, he didn't know what to do. He said, my dear Lord, now I am a surrendered soul, karpanya dosho pahata subhava. I do not know what is right and wrong for me, so please instruct me, guide me, what should I do? So Krishna starts by giving the knowledge of the soul in the 2nd chapter, right? So in the 2nd chapter we see that Krishna tells about the qualities of the soul. He tells that Vasham Shri Jirnani Yatha Vihaya. soul never dies, soul is eternal. Just like when the old clothes are torn and you don't want to wear them, it becomes older, you get new clothes and wear them, right? So similarly, the soul also has this body which is a subtle and gross body, the covering is there. So it changes the body, goes from one body to another. So, and then Krishna tells Arjuna about another quality, which is that na jayate mrite va kadachin, that the soul never dies, it doesn't takes birth. So that is another quality of the soul. So this soul is actually covered in this, this is a part of this body. In the body we have subtle, false ego, intelligence, mind, senses, all these things are there. But in today's world, people are giving priority to so many things which can only satisfy the body or the senses. You have so many places out there, around, which only gratify our senses or the mind or the intelligence. But we have to understand what can touch our soul, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Paramatma. Atma is Mame Vamsho Jeev Loke Jeev Bhuta Sanatana. We are part and parcel of Shri Shri Radha Govind Dev. So unless we satisfy the soul, we satisfy Krishna, just like putting water into the tree, it gives nourishment to the entire tree. If we are not able to satisfy Krishna, then we will not be happy, whatever we may do. Whatever numbers we may have in our bank account, or whatever degrees we have, whatever qualifications we have, that can give some happiness to some degree. No, but it cannot really actually make us satisfied. Sam siddhir haritoshanam. That cannot satisfy the soul. And the reason is because we are spirit soul. We are the Atma. Just like when you go to a gas station, so that instead of gas you put something else. So will it satisfy the car? Will it run? No. And then the driver, if you give it gasoline, he won't be happy. You have to give him probably, from Govinda some paneer tikka masala or something like that. Then he will be happy. So the food for the soul is to connect to Krishna. And why should we connect to Krishna? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasva prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate, iti matva bhajantevam buddha bhav samanvita. I am the source of everything, material and spiritual incarnations. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigra Adir Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna says that he is the source of everything, and those who are intelligent abide in him and follow his instructions. So therefore Krishna also says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Namna Makari Bahuda Niji Sarva Shakti Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Krishna has so many different names, like Krishna, Govinda, there are so many different names, right? And this is the message that all the great teachers have lived till now. Whether you consider any religion, whether it is Islam, Christianity, Judaism, whatever it is, the essence of all these religions is to love God, right? And act in accordance to the laws that God has given us and to follow them. So we can fear God and we don't want to meet the wrath of God, but on the higher level, the most important thing is to love God, to establish that relationship, sambandh, gyan. Yeah, there are three different things, right? Sambandh, abhideya and prayojan. So, and how do we do these things? So, just like Srila Prabhupada says many times that a teacher knows how to write ABCD, but still for a student, the teacher will write ABCD just to teach him by example. So similarly, there is a very great need in this society today to have people who are examples, who are great examples. One such example is our Acharya Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He was a Grihastha devotee, right? He had big estate, and he had his wife Bhagavati. He had 10 children. 10 children. Anyone has 10 children here? or planning to have? It's very difficult to have 10 children. You know, someone is screaming, someone is fighting, someone is not happy, someone is something. So there are so many different things going on with kids. They were dealing with 10 children, imagine. And one of them was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. You know, was Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj. And obviously he was a magistrate in the British government. And he had so much faith, and the British government had so much faith in his intelligence and his integrity that they actually built a railway track from his house to the court, you know, so that he can commute faster. And he was an emblem of moral and spiritual integrity, and he lived what he taught. His decisions were very right and very efficient, whatever decisions he took. Many times there were, you know, riots and conflicts in the area, so the Britishers will come to him to solve those, because he was very efficient. He would solve them very quickly. So, and he could finish, you know, some of the cases in days rather than in probably hours instead of many days. So this is one example where it shows that being a devotee doesn't mean you are lazy and sloppy. You know, Krishna didn't ask Arjuna that, okay, you go, I'll do everything, you go and behind the rath and have a nice sleep. He didn't say. He said, Arjuna, you should fight. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. That you should fight, and at the same time remember me. Perform a prescribed duties without attachment, without the sense of proprietorship. Yudhishthir Maharaj, you know, he was the king of the whole world, but still he thought that everything is the property of Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So coming back to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wrote so many books, volumes of prayers. You know, every year when we celebrate Bhakti Vinod Thakur's appearance and disappearance, we check his schedule, what his schedule looked like. He had time for writing books, he has time for kids, he has time for chanting, and he had time for doing so many different services, preaching. Imagine when he would come back in the evening, he would give a class, and sannyasis like Gaur Keshava Babaji Maharaj, you know, these are like renunciate. These are the highest category Babajis who don't have anything to do with money or sense gratification or dhanam, janam, sundaram, nothing. They, you know, till far distance, they have nothing to deal with these things. But still they used to come and listen to him. Why? Because he was so exemplary. He was so realized, because from his day-to-day activities and through the study of his scriptures and writing, he would share those things with him. Imagine Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, you know, he wouldn't eat much, you know, he would just go to the Ganga and sometimes eat mud. And, you know, and people were coming and disturbing him because give me blessings so that I can get money or son or so many different things. And to avoid these people, he would run to a place where people would evacuate practically, where, you know, so that nobody disturbs him. So this was the highest, you know, exemplary behavior of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And he wrote one bhajan, Gaye Gaura Madhur Sware, Naam Gaye, please repeat, Gaye Gaura Madhur Sware, Grahita ko Vaneta ko, Sada Hari Boleta ko, Grahita ko Vaneta. सुखे दुखे भूलो ना को, वदने हरि नाम को रो रे. गाए गौरा मधुर स्वरे, गाए गौरा मधुर स्वरे, रहे Krishna na bolo re, jivana hoilo shesh.
Jivana hoilo shesh, sabajile rishikesh.
Jivana hoilo shesh, na bajile rishikesh. Bhakti Vinod.
Bhakti Vinodesh, Ekmanam Rasho Matare.
Bhakti Vinod. Gai Gaura Madhur Sura. Lord Gaur Sundar sings in a very sweet voice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The translation of this bhajan is, whether you are a householder or a sannyasi, grahe tako, vane tako, sada hali bole tako. Constantly chant Hari Hari. Do not forget this chanting. Whether you are in happy condition or distressful one. Because happiness, distress will come. Honor, dishonor, pain, pleasure, these are all transient, temporary, ephemeral. These will come. But what is stable, what is constant, that we have to pay attention to. Just fill your lips with the Harinam. You are bound up in the network of Maya and are forced to toil fruitlessly. Now you have obtained full consciousness in the human form of life, so chant the names of Radha Madhava. Your life may end at any moment, and you have not served the Lord of the senses, Rishikesh. Take this advice of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Just once relish the nectar of the holy name. So this is the translation of this bhajan. It's a very wonderful bhajan. This was written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and it is in the book named Gitavali. It is in Bengali, so Prabhuji sang very nicely. Thank you, Prabhu, for singing it. So this bhajan is essence says that whoever we are, we are grahasthas, brahmachari, or whoever we are, in whatever situation we are in good situation, bad situation, happy situation, we should always chant the name of Lord Hari. So it is said that what is the definition of a civilization? Civilization comes from the word civil. Where people are doing activities where they are basically following the laws, following the regulations, helping each other instead of just gratifying themselves at the expense of others, right? So that is civilization. So civilization necessarily does not mean having a very sophisticated technology or a very strong economy where you can basically get intoxicated and maintain illicit relationship or killing because of irresponsible behavior in the womb or animals or things like that. That is not civilization. It is also not about greed and anger. That is not civilization. To be civil means to be kind, compassionate, to be intelligent, respect and harmonize with each other for the right purpose. That is the true civilization as per the scriptures. Prabhupada often quoted Chanakya Pandit, So Chanakya Pandit gives the definition of an educated person. Nowadays, who is an educated person who has PhD degree, right? Is there anyone from done PhD here? Okay, nice. It is good to have PhD, definitely, but at the same time, Chanakya Pandit also says, because when Chanakya Pandit was there, probably they didn't have PhDs. So the definition that he gave, which is still applicable today, is number one, the person should treat everybody equally. And the very essence of Bhagavad Gita is this, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastani Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. That a truly learned person will see the spirit soul, the consciousness, the part and parcel of Krishna or God within each and every living entity. Even in animals, forget about human beings, That is number one. Number two, he will look at others' wife as his own mother. Para matra pardeshu, like that. So look at everyone else as their own mother except the wife. And number 3 is to look others' property as a piece of stone, like not being greedy or cheat others. That is the third thing. That is a really educated person. So yes, we can have a PhD, we can have a master's degree. There's no problem. But at the same time, if we have these qualities, it's like a flower with a smell. Imagine a flower without a smell. It will look very nice from far away, but when it comes near you, it doesn't give fragrance. So, so what is our aspiration and value that we are building our foundation on? That is very important. Just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had an undeterring integrity and honesty for which he was honored, even in the court. So similarly, for us, that is very important. It is very easy to be corrupt. It is very easy to get angry, to be greedy. But to maintain these high standards take time. By default, if you drop something, things fall down, go down. If you don't take care of your health, health will deteriorate. Right? If you don't take care of work, work will suffer. Don't give time for family relationships, they will suffer. Don't give time for finances, they will suffer. If we don't spend time for our sadhana, our spiritual practices, then that's dangerous, So that is the reason that there are very few examples in the world today. That is why people are turning away from spiritual life. Because they think, okay, this is just hypocritical, this is just, people are just talking about it, they are not practicing. So therefore they are not attracted to these things. And they are trying to be religious, but actually they are not. So the most important thing is to live with integrity. And coming together and centered, coming together in front of Shri Radha Govind Dev, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever we meet, with love, with cooperation, with integrity, and with the attitude of service, we can actually please Krishna. So, and be a right example. So this is the definition of how to be exemplary. So there are 4 S. Basically, I would like to share those 4 acronyms, 4 S. So first S means for sadhana. I live in actually 4S ranch in San Diego, so I remember 4S. S for sadhana. Sadhana is our spiritual practice. So every day we should dedicate some nice time for sadhana, our spiritual practice. And the biggest form of sadhana is chanting the holy names of Sri Krishna. Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. It's a prime benediction for humanity. Krishna has appeared in the form, when he comes in the form of sound vibration, Krishna comes as the holy name. When Krishna comes as, stone or wood, he comes as the Archavigraha, deities. When he comes in the form of book, he comes as Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Krishna comes in the form of liquid from Mother Ganga. So Krishna takes different form because Krishna loves all of us. So he takes different forms and different ways. He just wants to call us. In the Bhagavad Gita, so many places Krishna is inviting us. Do you remember any verse where Krishna is inviting us? Can anyone share? Where Krishna is saying, if you do this, you will come to me surely. Can you give an example? Janma karma cha me divyami evam yo veti tatvata takta deham punarjanma na eti mameti sarjuna. You will come to me if you know my transcendental activities of birth and activities, right? Anything else? Very famous verse that is repeated 2 times in Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhavmat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi satyam te pratija. So there are so many different verses that Krishna is actually inviting us. Because Krishna is our supreme father, and father naturally loves the son. What is that verse? Mata pitamaha, Data pitamaha, Vedyam Puranam, Omkara, Riksam Yajur Evacha. So Krishna says that, I am the father, I am the mother. So Krishna is Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna is the seed-giving father of all of us. And there is a very nice pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita where there is a Grihastha Brahmin, Kurma Brahmin. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits him and he serves Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely, prasadam and everything. And then he says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't want to stay in family life. I just want to come with you. So he says, Kripa kara Prabhu more yanto ma sange sahitena pari dukha vishaya tarange. Probably Prabhuji can chant nice, better than me, but so what it means is the Brahmana, no, it's not. The Brahmana begged Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, kindly show me favor and let me go with you. I can no longer tolerate these waves of misery caused by materialistic life. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe aichi baat kabhu na kahibo, grahe rahi Krishna nama nirantara laibe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home, and chant the holy name of Krishna always. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, who will take care of a family, your wife, your mother and everyone? You have to stay at home and at the same time chant the holy names of Krishna. So that is Krishna again appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us practical example how to be a grahastha. So it would be better to remain with family, try to become purified by chanting and chant the Mahamantra under the regulation of the spiritual master. So this is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and if this principle is followed by everyone, Prabhupada says there is no need of sannyas in the purport of this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when we serve, being a grihastha, there are so many ways we can serve. There is simple ABCD I will give you, ABCD ways of service. A is for association again. Sorry, I was on sadhana, S, right? Sadhana, which is same as association. And B also is for book reading. C is for chanting, and D is for diet or deity worship. So these 4 things you can practice at home very easily. And one of the important aspects of seva that Krishna actually acknowledges is when we are serving without any motivation, for ourselves. We have to serve selflessly. So there are so many opportunities in the temple to serve. There is deity worship, there is, cooking service, and so many, even such a nice Govinda's restaurant is there. I remember we went to last year Sadhu Sangha, which is in Dallas. They also have a very nice restaurant. And they were telling that most of the devotees there, they became devotees just by taking prasad at the restaurant. Prasad is so powerful. So there are so many glories of prasad. And so that is also preaching, that is also service. There are so many ways that we can serve. And Krishna is looking at the intention, because a lot of services require our, being in the front, like giving class or doing kirtan. These, everybody can see that. But if you are washing the pots, or if you are, probably cutting vegetables in the kitchen, nobody is looking at you. But in the eyes of Krishna, Krishna is everywhere. Sarvasya chaham hriday sani vishtu, matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna is there within everybody's heart. Krishna is watching. He has eyes everywhere. Krishna knows what our intention is, what we are doing. So we have to understand whether we want to become dear to Krishna in his eyes, or we want to show off to everybody that we are a great devotee. So in order to progress spiritually, it is very important to have that absorption, that connection with Krishna, and doing services for Krishna. Obviously, like it says, under the guidance of the spiritual masters or senior devotees. So when we talk about different type of preaching, there would be Rath Yatra, there is, Govinda's restaurant, there are so many programs. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. So again Krishna is calling us back. So you can explain in different ways. Even somebody who is dressing Radha Govinda very nicely, that is also preaching, because just by looking at the beautiful form of the Lord, like Prabhu is doing, deity worship or dressing or arati, just by looking at the Lord, that is preaching. washing pots, cutting vegetables, cooking for devotees, that is also preaching. Like my wife likes to cook a lot, so even like I tell her that even cooking and cutting vegetables, even every cut is filled with devotion. So that is also a part of preaching. So all this, all these things, all this absorption and whatever we are talking about being exemplary, how it comes? It comes by sincerely chanting the holy names of Krishna. Nam Chintamani Krishnas, Chaitanya Risa Vigraha, Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatva Nama Namino. So Krishna is coming us in the form of holy name to purify us. Every morning when we get up, chanting is our highest priority. We chant with absorption, hearing the Mahamantra, praying with deep affection, and be humbling ourselves. Trinadapi Sunichina Taroreva Saishnuna. Humbling ourselves toward Krishna. My dear Krishna, I can do only so much. So much is in my hands. So please help me so that I can take shelter of you and your holy names. And so many different situations I am going through, ups and downs in the life. I take shelter of you. Taking shelter doesn't mean that we don't do anything. Taking shelter means we know we do our best efforts, and at the same time we understand that ultimately it's in Krishna's hands. A millionaire can be in the hospital spending thousands of dollars curing his disease. But if Krishna doesn't sanction, he cannot be cured. At the same time, a simple villager in a village, he can get cured by just drinking coconut water. So yes, taking shelter doesn't mean we shouldn't do anything. Kunti Maharani prayed that, my dear Lord, let all the calamities come to me, so that I can remember you. So somebody asked Prabhupada, should we also pray like that? So Prabhupada says, don't pray for that. Anyways, they will come to you. So, yes, calamities come. It doesn't mean that we don't deal with them. We say, okay, calamity has come, very nice, now I can chant. No, it's not like that. We have to handle the situation, but at the same time, we have to take shelter of Krishna. Whatever the medicine doctor has prescribed us, we don't say we don't want this medicine. We take the medicine, but at the same time, we pray, Krishna, may this medicine act on me on the right way and I get cured. That is very important. And we also don't become, unkind to others. If somebody is sick, we don't say, oh, it is his karma, let him be like that. No, we have to take care of him as a devotee or as a good friend. Or we blaspheme somebody and say, Prabhu, you have to be like Trinadapi Sunichena. It's just keep exploiting. No. That is also not the right understanding. So, yes, these situations are there in our life. We go through ups and downs, difficulties. But we put our sadhana our highest priority, because once we have that, all these things are possible through the right sadhana, right association, chanting the holy name sincerely. And chanting God's name is not a sentiment. A lot of people say, I will chant Coca-Cola and I will chant this, that. So it is not a sentiment, it's a Yuga Dharma. It's the Yuga Dharma. All the scriptures, Kali Santaran Upanishad says that, and so many different scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam ends with that. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shammanashtam Namami Hariparam. It is the Yuga Dharma for holy name. Chanting the holy names of Lord can help us to control our fickle mind and remove all those miseries and give us that spiritual benefit and ultimately the love for Krishna, which is the ultimate goal of life. So it purifies the heart, awakens the dormant qualities of the soul and the service to others and emotions to God. And through the chanting, we can actually attain that happiness which is beyond the dualities of this world. We all go through dualities and people break down and, cannot continue. But this chanting can actually take us beyond those things. It is beyond any happiness, distress, pleasure, pain, success, failure, and which are obviously temporary. So ultimately, whoever we are, wherever we are, whichever situation we are, whether we are in, in the city, Las Vegas, or we are living on the banks of Ganga river, if we are in that consciousness, if we are chanting the names of the Lord, and we come to the state of ecstatic love, which is beyond these things, and we also share it with others. Through these programs, through these Rath Yatras, we actually share what we have got. Because one of the duties of Grihastha is not just to keep what you get, you know. It is too selfish to keep what you have. Whatever spiritual or other things that we have to give it back. We have to share it with others. Then only it is the success of Grihastha life. Arjuna gave his skills and everything to Krishna, to Krishna's instructions, to Krishna's order. And living at the expense of others and being selfish is not a Grihastha, it's a Grihamedi, it's not a very good, lifestyle. And if we want to attract the mercy of Krishna, then, we become Grihastha and receive the happiness which Krishna is waiting for us to receive. Krishna is calling us. Shri Radha Govindev is calling, Shri Gaur Nitai is calling, Srila Prabhupada through the Guru Parampara, they are inviting us. So let us take this lifestyle of Krishna consciousness to make our life more sublime and happy, so that we can transcend this world while living happy in this world and also with Krishna in the next. So it's such a wonderful temple, such a great opportunity. Prabhuji is working so hard to expand and doing so many programs. So it's a very rare opportunity. And if we invest the time that we have of this soul within this body in those things, then we can achieve the success of the purpose of our life. So thank you so much for your patience. Hare Krishna.